Hey everyone, and welcome back. There is one setting that we did not use in our data asset, which is the item's description. So let's use this now. I'm going to open up my test item and give it a default description. Alright, this is just for example, so it doesn't matter what I type here. I'll select save and close. Next, let's open up the inventory display. And this is the size box that we have all of our inventory slots placed in. What I want to do is have my slots to the top and the description of the item to the bottom. So I will wrap this size box with a vertical box. And now I can place a new size box into that vertical box, and this will be for our item's description. I'll set the minimum desired height to be something like 250. And I'll add a scroll box to this in case we have a really long description for this item and we need to see more. Within the scroll box, I'll add a vertical box, and we'll have a few elements within this. First, I'll select the size box that I just added and give it a padding of something like 10 to the top, so it's a bit more spaced out from the slots. Next, I will look for my text here under the common section and drag it into my vertical box. I'll rename this to be item name. I'll make this a variable, and that's that. So this will display our item's name, and then I'll duplicate it again, and this will be for our item's state. So let's say we have an equipment item. We want to be able to know when this item is equipped, when we hover over it, and when it's not equipped. If it's a regular item, then it should just say none. Okay, I'll give it a color, maybe leave the white. I'll just mess with the alpha and give it a value of 0.5, so it's a bit grayed out. I'll then make this font regular and a smaller size, so let's say maybe 20. Yeah, 20 seems fine. The main one is 32. We can leave that as is. Next, I will search for a multi-line text. So I'm going to drag in this text box multi-line into my vertical box. And currently we can see we cannot see anything. It's just a white rectangle. I'm going to give it some default text so we can see what's going on. Right, so we can see the text, but it's kind of not what we want. So the first thing I want to do here is head to my style background, and we have color of the text right here. So let's select, well, uncheck inherit, and then we can change the color to something like white. Next, the background, the white rectangle, we can head to style and change. Actually, we can override one of them here. So background color, let's inherit this and change the background color to be an alpha of 0, so we can see our text clearly. Next, I'll head to my text style category and font, and I want to select my Roboto font. And if you're not seeing these options, then you can just select the settings icon and set engine content to be true. With Roboto selected, I'll change the size to be something like maybe 20 as well. That's fine. Let me see what else is there. Right, so since this is a multi-line text box, we'll need to allow per character wrapping. So I'm going to ensure that auto wrap text is set to true. And for under the advanced section, I'm going to change it from default wrapping to allow per character wrapping. There's only one more thing we need to do here, is search for read only and make sure read only is set to true, because we don't want to be able to edit this text at all. Then I'll make this a variable and I'll rename this to be item description. I'll remove the text. Now let's wrap this entire inventory in a border so we can have a nice background to it. So I'm going to select my main vertical box. right click and select wrap width, and I'm going to choose the border. I'll then select the border and give it a padding of something like 15, and then I'll change the brush color to be black with an alpha of maybe 0.5. Then I'll wrap this border with a background blur, and I'll select the background blur and give it a blur strength value of 5 as well. Now if we hit play, we can open up the inventory and we can see we have the slots to the top and we have the description to the bottom. We can set this up a bit nicer. I recommend you do this. So let's get a image and drag it into the second vertical box, which is the vertical box of our item's name and description, and I'll place it in between these two texts. I'll give the image size Y value 1.5, and I'll change the color and opacity to be 0.5, so it's kind of grayed out. I'll then select that image and give it a padding to the top and bottom with a value of 10. So there's a bit of space. Let's see how it looks. Much better. Right, so now we have this. The only thing we need to do now is get the description from the data asset that we are hovering over, or the slot that we're hovering over, and display it right here. Now we can do this different ways. If you want to hide this text, then you can just select the entire size box here and give it a visibility of hidden. And when you update the text data, let's say when you hover over a slot, then you can toggle the visibility and set it to be visible or non-hit testable or something that you want to be. To do that, you'll obviously need to make this size box a variable so that you can modify the visibility within the graph. Or I'm going to do it this way, which is I'm going to leave everything displayed. I'll give it some default text values. For the name, I'll say no item selected. And for the description, I'm going to say, well, hover over an item to view its details. And when we hover an item, then we'll update the settings. And when we unhover, it will go back to the default text. How are we going to do this? Let's save. Head to the event graph. Let's see. Yeah, so let's create a new function. I'll call this set item description. Yeah, set item description is fine. This will take an input of type sInventory slot. I'll rename this to be inventory slot. Then I'll break the structure. The only thing we'll need from this is the data asset, because that's where the description is, and the item's name. I'll drag off and get name, and I'll drag off again and get the description. Now we have these two variables. We can drag in the item name widget variable into the graph and search for set text. Connect this up, and the name will connect right here. It will automatically create a conversion to text. Then I will get my item description variable, and I'm going to search for set text, but we're going to select the set text multi-line text box option. Let's connect this right here, and then we can drag the description directly into here. Now we'll need a way to reset this details. So I will create a new function called reset item description. And I will head back to my set item description function, copy these two nodes here and paste it. For the name, I'll give it a default text that says no item selected or hovered. You can set that as you like. And for the description, I can say hover over an item to view its details. Now, since we are resetting, I'll also want this to be displayed by default. So I'll head back to my event graph and I will override the event pre-construct event. I'll drag in reset item description and connect this here. And now if you head back to the designer, you can see it's already set up. No item selected. We have hover over an item to view its details. The next variable that we need to set is the item state. And we can do this in both functions. So I'll copy this set text here, paste it to the end, and for the variable, I'll replace it with the item state. I'll give it a default text value that says none, and now we can see none showing up here. Even if I reset this and compile again, we'll go back to being none. I noticed that the item description text box has some padding, so I'm going to remove that. Give it a value of 0, so it's placed and aligned with the above text. Now let's head back to the event graph. I'm going to copy this item state set text node, and I'm going to head to the set item description function and paste it. We need a way to tell if the item that we're currently hovering over is already equipped, and if it's not already equipped, then we should set the text to be something else. And we already created some logic to check for that, so we can save ourselves the time and head back to the item options widget blueprint, head over to the graph, and let's open up the macro check item state. I'm going to highlight everything here, deselect the output and the input, copy this, and head back to the inventory display. Within this set item description function, I'll paste this. We already have the function input with the name inventory slot, so the engine already got that. For this equal, I'll remove this and say if the equipment type is not equal to none, meaning if it is an equipment item, we can proceed. Because if it's not an equipment, then it should just say none. I'll delete this split stack visibility check, and then I'll delete this branch. And now we can bring this closer. We need access to the AC inventory. So let's add a reference to the input of this function. Let's get it as a local variable and connect this right here. Now, if the slot is available, that means right now the item is not equipped, and if it's not available, that means the slot contains an item. So I will run a select text, and this return value will be our condition. Now, if the slot is available, I'm going to do not equipped. And if it contains an item, we can just say equipped. The only thing we need to do now is actually finish off the hover over an item part of the function. Let's open up the inventory slot. Head over to the graph, and let's override a function called onMouseEnter, and we'll also override onMouseLeave. Wrong one. onMouseLeave. This event. Alright, so we need some conditions. We'll need to make sure that the slot contains an item, that we are not currently hovering over an equipment slot, and we'll also check if our item options is not valid right now. And since we'll need to do this for both events, I'll create a function, and I'll call this update item details. Why not? I'll then add an input to this of type Boolean, and I'll call this input reset. I'll head back to my event graph and call this function for both events. So when we enter, we don't want to reset, but when we leave, we definitely do. Set reset to be true. Now let's head into this function. So when we hover over an item, we'll need to get the slot contains item variable. We'll call an AND Boolean, and then we'll check if the equipment slot is not true. So if we're hovering over a slot that is not an equipment slot. And the third condition will be if our item options widget is not valid, and we can access that from the RPG HUD. So let's get the RPG HUD, get the item options widget, and we can drag off and search for is valid. And we want to make sure that this is not valid. So I'm going to drag off and search for a not Boolean and connect this right here. Alright, so if this is not valid, then all of these conditions are met and we can proceed successfully. I'll add a branch. And then we can set our items detailed. We have that function in the inventory display. So let's get the RPG HUD. I'm going to ensure that this is valid, since this will be a function that is pretty active when you're hovering over multiple slots. And then I'll get the inventory display widget. I'll also convert this to a validated get. And this is just in case you try to close the inventory while hovering over an item. So to avoid any little error that the engine might give you, we'll just make sure this is valid. And if it is valid, then we'll call set item description. I'll add a branch just before this, and this branch will check for our inputs reset. Now if reset is false, then we will set the item's description, and if reset is true, then we will reset the item's description. So I'm going to drag off here and search for reset item description and plug this up. Currently, the set function is asking for an inventory slot and a reference to the component, and we already have the slot right here and a reference to the component as well. Great. This is done. We have this set up as well. Right. Let's give it a test. Hit play. And let's open our inventory. We can see no item selected, none, as the equipment state, or the item state I should say. And you can see it's telling you hover over an item to view its details. I can hover now. It says box. It says that it is equipped, and it shows the description, which is called default description right now. If I were to right click and select unequip item, you can see that the state has changed to not equipped, but we are still showing the details because we are still hovering. If I unhover now, it goes back to none and gives you the prompt again. If I go back and equip again, the change changes back to equip again. And that's how you set this up within the inventory system. Great. That's it for this one, guys. See you in the next one.